that's all we got about hip hop for today.
But yeah, so of course, I gotta definitely talk to you about this.
Let's get it.
I haven't had a comic book episode in what? We have episodes like 5 episodes. I haven't had a comic book episode yet.
We made it through somehow without actually bridging comics.
Let's get into this comic shit,
This
bro.
guy is the only. For one, he got a Batman shirt on, so that tells you he's legit.
And I have a Superman tattoo.
Shoot, his freaking his book over there got hella comic book stuff, don't it?
Yep.
We got Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy in the corner?
Oh, this isn't a comic book character. That's Nosferatu from the movie. Well,
Nosferatu?
yeah. Well, technically,
Batman?
it's a depiction of Nosferatu from the 1970 movie Salem's Lot,
Shout
which was
out to
depicted from the
Nosferatu.
Stephen King. As you can tell, I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
I don't think-
that's some real deep nerd
But
shit.
if you want to know some deep nerd shit, Superman was originally created in 1933 by Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster, who were two Jewish boys from Chicago. Now, if you go back to the original, it was called Reign of the Superman. He was a bald supervillain with mental powers and shit.
Oh,
but
wow.
I think that he needed a redesign, so that's when they came up with the Superman that we got in 1938 action comic book where he's holding the car and shit like that. In February 12th, 1944 is the first time that Superman was introduced onto the radio station.
Oh yeah,
Now-
and you going? I actually could probably. I feel like I know what you about to say.
The
With
invention of Kryptonite?
Yep, because the guy that would speak it to take a mental break, he'll say he needs, Kryptonite's coming to link, draining his powers, making him weak. So he'll quit. He'll pretty much use that as a
Yeah,
pause moment,
The
drink
guy,
water,
the
come
comic,
back.
the comic book never invented kryptonite.
The radio guy
The
did.
radio guy did. They actually found. They was like, okay, he's from Krypton, and they looked at kryptonite on the periodic table because the guy who was playing Superman was like, nigga, I'm talking for a half an hour
Yep.
straight. I need a break because this guy has no fucking weaknesses. So the radio actually created it and shit like that. I'm a nerd.
That's dope.
Actually, I kind of find it ironic with Batman, for example, how the first Batman comics that came out were pretty dark, but for some reason, I guess during the World War II era, that's when they kind of made it real kid friendly. I
Right.
kind of find it interesting. Then, like in the early '80s, late '70s, when they brought back that same dark approach again.
As the world changes, the characters change.
True.
Like I promise you, before these,
How Captain Marvel's a lesbian,
right?
and they just don't want to acknowledge that she's a lesbian.
So lesbian. She's so lesbian.
Like when I saw her, I know this is like a side note or just going off topic. When I saw her at at Tony Stark's funeral, and she had the Hillary Clinton pantsuit on, I was like, yeah, she's a lesbian.
Like niggas, people aren't gonna want to hear that. People are gonna be like, "Oh, a woman can't wear a pantsuit." Or I was looking at the relationship between her and Maria Rambeau.
Yes.
and niggas was like,
They're together.
"They're just close friends." I said,
They're a couple, bro.
"Bruh, they're
When you look
gay."
at the pictures in the movie, there's no boyfriend at all. It's always her, the girl, and the daughter. Her, the girl, and the daughter.
Now,
they're a
there's
gay
a-
couple. It's
now-
cool. I have no issue with it. It's just
Yeah,
I just
I
kind
don't
of
gi- I
find
don't
that
give a
like,
fuck.
wow,
They're just gay.
that was a way for them to throw it like under like, let's slide it in there real quick.
Right. Now, here's another thing they slid in there real quick. In the comic book, she is with War Machine. Now, and if you remember,
wow,
yeah.
Never knew that.
And if you remember, there's a scene in Endgame where they're in the holograms, and
They kind of look at each other.
when she goes, "Be careful," he goes, "Yeah," and disappears. I'm like, "Oh, are they hinting that they're gonna make that a thing?" But I'm like, "How?" But maybe
I
she
guess it's just an Easter egg.
yeah, maybe she just like black people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Maria Rambeau.
Yeah, because that's her chick,
She's
her
friend
buddy.
right.
Yeah, damn, I didn't think about it. Maybe she do have a thing for black people because Samuel Jackson was a guy.
right. She just
But finish
like,
your thing about Batman. I'm sorry about how the comic books changed.
But
the time.
no, the times change. The comic book changes. For instance, like nobody gave a fuck about Guardians of the Galaxy. That's not a conversation you want
One
to
of the
have.
better
Before
Marvel stories.
2014, when I think the first Guardian movie came out, you niggas wasn't gonna sit with me and have a conversation about no Guardians of the Galaxy comic book, cartoon. Like, no, nobody give a fuck about the Guardians. It's the way that that Chris Pratt plays Star-Lord.
Lord.
It's the way that Batista plays the character that makes people more interested in them.
Quick question. So how do you feel about that? Because I think with the Marvel movies being so impactful and kind of dominating, I feel like now I'm starting to notice on some comic books they really take more of their likeness from the movies and put into the comic books now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's always going to exist. This is one of my biggest problems with Marvel comics. Their comics, they be good. I'm not gonna play like all comics. Their comics are ass because it's not true. I would like to specifically say their Deadpool run is always good. I have never picked up a Deadpool, any of their runs, and been disappointed. Same thing I can say about their Spider-Man run. Never disappointing. It's just
I don't know. I didn't really like how Ultimate Spider-Man ended a little bit.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
'Cause
But
it was
it was still an interesting story.
It was an interesting storyline because I like how they didn't put it Gwen Stacy, how she turned into a symbiote. Didn't she turn into Carnage? Yeah, it was like little things like that, but how it ended was just, it felt like they were just trying to wrap this up.
That
so it
being
just hurt me
said,
just get this done.
what I don't like is how when the movie gets popular, that's when certain comics get more interesting or better. It's like the Iron Man comics, who gave a fuck before 2008.
That is true.
After 2008, Iron Man comics were fire, and I was like, stop this.
That's the
when
same with Thor, too.
Oh, yeah, same with Thor.
Because Thor was always just kind of like that. He's just a character. You don't know why he's in the Avengers, but he's just in the Avengers. But once, the Thor movie started coming, people started liking Chris Hemsworth. Is that his name? Hemsworth?
Yep.
They started liking him more. That's when they started being putting
Right.
push that
and
character out there.
So I see that a lot where DC, which is my home base, like, they fucking, yo, DC has the win.
That Aquaman shit, that was a win.
See, I think
Aquaman was a win. It made $1 billion. Did it make $3 billion? No.
it made $1 billion?
Yeah,
I didn't know
Aquaman made
that.
$1 billion, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, I like
Because I'm sorry. Like, you just gotta understand. You don't gotta make. And now I think it was a good ass movie. I give it a solid C+. Aquaman.
It was cool. It was solid. It wasn't trash. Shazam low-key was a gem.
Shazam
was
is an
a
A.
gem.
But
Shazam was a gem.
Niggas want their comic book movies so serious because we live in the era of Endgame. So niggas think, oh, that shit too comedic. I said, no, that shit was. If you went in there knowing that you're watching a 14, like my homegirl, she was like, I ain't like it because he couldn't fight. I said, he a 14-year-old white boy. What makes you think he's supposed to be able to have the hands?
And he's a 14-year-old white boy trying to control an adult body.
Right.
And then actually, she said that, but the movie was pretty dark, especially that, like, that dude, the villain that had the seven sins.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that movie was pretty dark. I mean, he
Still
came
a
in
DC
there.
movie.
He came in there. He grabbed his brother, threw that dude out the window. I was
My
like,
favorite scene.
that caught me off guard so much when I was watching it in theaters.
I want to point out this thing. Like I said, I like Aquaman a lot. I think Aquaman was really good. I'm sorry to go back onto it. I just want to just clear one thing up. You didn't see the similarities inside the Black Panther story, which is crazy.
Of course.
But I think
But those similarities are all throughout comic books.
True.
Don't get me wrong. It was the timing because it was probably like.
Yeah, it's literally just a year later. That's why it's
But I like what they did.
actually same year.
The visual
Yeah, it did.
were really important. I think they got undernoted because all the flash shit going on. To put a whole world underwater is kind of tough.
I think
It kind of gave me some Halo vibes. I'm not gonna
there's
lie.
so many things it doesn't get credit for. One, a great black, even though he didn't have a good black villain that didn't have a stupid ass racial storyline mixed into it. Like, you had Black Manta in there. I think the right actor played Black Manta.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I like the action, the fighting scenes. I want to think a brown main hero. A lot of people like to ignore the fact that nigga is Samoan.
Right.
But you had a brown hero. So that's a win for us. In the same year as Black Panther, you had Samoan Panther, and that's not a bad fucking thing either. Like,
Okay, how you feel about this? Because I'm starting to realize I think since the MCU has been so pretty much dominating the movie market when it comes to superhero movies, you kind of have a lot of MCU fanboys where, end of the day, you remember that conversation I had on Facebook where I was saying, after reading a good amount of Marvel and DC comics, I have to admit, comic book wise and story wise, I kind of prefer DC over Marvel. And how everybody was like,
Absolutely.
nah, DC's trash, DC's this, DC's that, and it's kind of like,
all right, so the Beast's coming out. I just gotta warn y'all.
okay,
So,
get ready.
I just want everyone to know, you sycophantic, suck up fucking fans are pieces of shit, and you are making being a nerd extremely fucking hard for me. So my story begins here, and I promise I'm gonna try to take 3 minutes with this. Me and Daryl K. Standing in
Shout
line.
out to Daryl K.
Shout out to my nigga Daryl K. Me and Daryl K standing in line at a Comic-Con in 2013-14, and the line is fucking packed. Yo, 2008, 2009, I get in line for Comic-Con. I'm in line for 5 minutes to get my ticket and shit. Like, that ain't a long line. 2013, the line is around the corner, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? But then I see these little kids running around in these little Avenger outfits, and I'm like, oh, these fucking movies. They've created new fans. There's hundreds of them now, and that's the world we live in now. The MCU has created all these fucking people who think
Hypebeast fans.
these niggas who've seen the movies, and they're like, oh, now I'm a comic book fan. It's like, stop. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
The Drake reference.
You are not. It's like, nigga, when I was into Iron Man, and when I say I was into Iron Man, I'm not talking about the 90s cartoon. I'm talking about he's Tony Stark. He's cool as cat. I'm talking about the fucking 1960s Iron Man
I
cartoon.
remember actually seen that intro though.
Yo, he's Iron Man. Like, when I was into that, niggas was like, nerd. Now, the whole world is into this shit, and I'm just like, yo, you niggas make me sick. So, and then when niggas talk about DC is trash, I'm like, yo, DC not being good is something that's only happened in the last 5 years.
That's true, because DC was running the movie market for the most part. Because did DC ever go bankrupt? Did DC never went bankrupt, did they?
No, they didn't. You wanna know why?
Marvel went bankrupt.
If you noticed, you got Sony got this got this. Warner Brothers has made every
All the DC movies
in the history of existence.
I make an argument that DC has
Absolutely. There is no better superhero film better than Dark Knight. You know why? Because Dark Knight, went into it and didn't seem like you were watching a comic book movie.
He was watching a movie.
You watched an amazing film.
Yeah.
You watched an amazing film. I'm sorry.
Because you got into the character.
You can watch it over and over and over.
You got into the character because of him, not because he's Batman.
So one day, the day the Dark Knight Rises came out, I binged Batman Begins and Dark Knight the same day, and I picked up on something I never picked up on. Like, Dark Knight, there's a scene where Alfred and Bruce are talking, and Bruce is like the criminal mind isn't complicated when he's talking about Joker. If you remember, in Batman Begins, that's what Ra's al Ghul taught him. It's like, yo, so much of who Batman is tied into what Ra's al Ghul taught him. So he still got some of it. It's like, even though he was the villain, he still took so much of that shit into who he became. And that's what fucked him up against the Joker. It's like, you're trying to predict the villain that isn't predictable. It's just just the writing is just.
Yeah, it's because the reason he was able to beat Ra's al Ghul is because I know I've learned from you. But the Joker was just pretty much random chaos. It's like, how can you predict a guy?
Right. Quickly, I just watched a theory video. This is some crazy shit. Everybody here has seen Fight Club, right?
Yeah.
I just watched a theory video that said Fight Club is the origin story of the Joker. That shit is fire. I won't get into that, but let's quickly count off all the bad DC movies. Let's start with Superman 3, Superman 4. Let's get into
Batman versus Superman.
Batman vs. Superman is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Superman 3, Superman 4, Catwoman, Batman vs. Superman. Let's go. Let's stay in chronological order. Daredevil.
Yeah, it was DC.
That's
Marvel. That's Marvel.
So let's start. I'm just trying to keep it chronological so I can remember the years, so I can know what I'm going by. So Superman 3, Superman 4. Then you got Batman. A lot of people didn't like Batman Forever. I did, but okay, Batman Forever.
Is Batman Forever where they had the nipple suit?
Yep, Riddler. It was the first one. Yeah. Yep.
No, I thought that was the second one. Batman.
They had the nipple suit in that one too.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Damn.
So Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. We're 4 films in now. Okay.
Okay. So Batman Forever was Val Kilmer, and Batman and Robin was
George Clooney.
Okay.
Then we get to Green Lantern, Superman Returns, which isn't the worst movie ever. It's just not what people wanted.
It was more CGI based. It was just spectacle.
Exactly. So then you get Batman versus Superman. We're on.
You said Superman Returns, Batman versus Superman,
the
Justice League.
Now Catwoman, Justice League. Okay, there are 9.
That's it. Because Wonder Woman was good, Shazam was good, Aquaman was good, all the Dark Knights was good.
You're forgetting V for Vendetta.
That was a good movie.
DC film. Watchmen.
Yes,
DC
it is. It's a DC film. It is. Yeah, I forgot.
Constantine.
Watchmen is a DC film. Watchmen's a DC film. Constantine's a DC film.
So, like, niggas used to be forgetting all these great DC. I mean, Jonah Hex definitely counts.
You see Hell's Kitchen? Because that's a DC film, too. I was curious about that movie.
I have not seen it, but
I wanted to see it. I was curious about it.
I probably will take some time to see it because DC. Jonah Hex was a horrible DC film. I just wanted to point that out there. But so we got to the DC.
Hey, Hellboy DC, too?
Yeah. No. He's Dark Horse.
Never mind.
So we did DC's list of horrible films, right? We got 13, and just to be nice, I'll just say 15. Let's just say 15. We'll add 2. Let's count off Marvels, starting with Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck is a classic.
It's a classic, yes. So Howard the Duck. Then you got that Fantastic Four movie that only gets released at Comic Cons.
That trash ass one. That's like they try to throw that under the radar
America
quick.
That came out in the 90s.
That was
Punisher
trash.
that came out in the 90s. That's 4 already bad.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3. X-Men
Fantastic
3.
Four.
Fantastic Four 1. Fantastic Four 2.
Fantastic Four 3.
Yo,
remake.
Marvel has way more horrible films than
Incredible
DC.
Hulk 1. Incredible Hulk 2 was cool. Incredible Hulk 1 was trash.
Daredevil, Elektra.
That was trash.
Blade 3.
Blade 3 wasn't bad.
No, Blade 3 was terrible.
I don't want to say it. That was cool.
It was terrible.
No, Blade 3 was Ryan Reynolds.
No, yeah, Triple H was in that. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That wasn't that bad. Trilogy wasn't that bad. Trinity wasn't that bad.
Horrible.
Trinity was cool. It wasn't the best Blade movie. It was cool. Trinity was cool. It was cool.
It was the worst Blade movie, making it.
Out of the 3,
yeah,
I don't know, because I don't remember 2. I never remember 2. I've seen 2. I just don't remember 2 at all.
The one with the vampires who mouths open. Blade 2 was the shit.
Blade 1 was my shit.
I mean, Blade 1 is one of the greatest movies ever made, bro. But,
It doesn't get
that being said, I have just shown you that Marvel has way more trash films. I mean, there's like 15 more trash films than fucking DC. The problem is, it's the stats. It's like, okay, they made this many trash films, but they made this many good films. I'm like, yo, DC just don't make that many films because we don't like to be fucking stupid. Because every time we make a bad film, especially today, look at DC. Look at DC. They made another bad film. It's like Marvel. Like, I'm sorry, Guardians 2 was whack.
But actually, no, you should think about that.
Thor 1
and 2 is trash. Guardians 2 is trash. Thor 1 and 2 is trash.
Iron Man 2 is trash. Iron Man 3 is
Iron Man 1 was the best one.
Like Marvel don't even got a good trilogy,
Captain America? That's probably the best.
and even even their first one was.
I like the first one.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just.
Winter Soldier was the dopest movie.
Winter Soldier's
That's
amazing.
probably the best Marvel movie.
Winter Soldier, I have an unpopular opinion.
How you don't like Winter Soldier? Because to me, Winter Soldier fits in that Dark Knight category where it's like, if you took the superhero stuff out, it would be a great ass
Facts.
film.
That's exactly how I felt about Winter Soldier. I was in Winter Soldier and I felt the same. So me and my father's a super movie fan like me. He likes political thrillers. The Winter Soldier is a great political thriller.
Make you think of what's that joint with Tom Cruise? Not Tom. Yeah, what's that movie with
Mission
Tom Cruise?
Impossible?
No. It's like a political thriller. It was like an action movie. Born Identity or something? No, it's not Born Identity. I forgot what it's called. I know it. I'll figure it out later. I forgot.
Here's the thing, bro. I mean, and Winter Soldier kind of started that whole run for Marvel of like, we're gonna make this type film, but you're gonna put superheroes in it. Doctor Strange is a great supernatural sci-fi with a superhero.
True.
Fucking Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Even though
is a
Doctor
high school
Strange
movie.
essentially is
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Right.
Iron Man 1.
Spider-Man: Homecoming is just a high school movie with a superhero in it, and Winter Soldier to me is magnificent.
Yeah.
And Civil War was great, but that doesn't excuse that Part 1 was a B-. It's not a solid trilogy.
I think that's their best trilogy, though.
I mean, yeah, it's their best trilogy, and it's still don't fuck with Dark Knight. That being said, so when did bad DC movies start? Really?
I want to stand up for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Bad DC movies started when they tried to compete with Marvel.
I'm talking about the
and
second
try
one,
to
only the second one.
Yeah, but I say I want to say one thing about it. It's like that's phenomenal to do something to a comic book series that does not have any origins inside our nostalgia and to bring up basically some new fucking story.
You talking about Captain America?
No, the
Guardians.
Yeah. The first one was dope, but the second one felt like a filler.
Yeah, second one was definitely filler.
It was just a
trash.
filler movie, and I think that's what happens with a lot of the Marvel movies to me now. Ant-Man
1
2.
was
Ant-Man 1 was dope. Ant-Man 1 was dope.
That was cool. It was cool.
Ant-Man 2 was a filler.
Ant-Man 2 was trash.
He's one of the best heroes in there.
Fact.
Ant-Man 2 was a filler. The only thing that really made sense was the end credit scene.
Oh, and-
like, you could skip the whole movie and just go to the end credit
Yeah,
scene.
that's why we all went to go see it. Captain Marvel was trash too. Niggas don't want to hear
Man,
that.
it was cool.
That shit was trash.
You better stop. You better stop, man. The Me Too about to get you.
Me
Let me
3,
stop,
nigga.
let
That
me
shit was
stop.
trash. That
Yeah,
shit
it was cool.
that
It
shit
was
was
a
whack.
movie.
Maria Ram. I mean, the whole character. It was just whack. The way they did the movie was whack. The nostalgia was whack. Her acting was okay. But I mean, she acted like, from what my man's who read the Captain Marvel comic, he was like, you gotta remember, yo, she ain't do a bad job acting. Captain Marvel's a boring motherfucker.
Yeah.
So the movie was boring. The character wasn't interesting. The plot was stupid. There's a whole hour video off YouTube that breaks down the movie completely, and it'll explain to you why everything that happened in that movie made no fucking sense.
It was just, you just kind of just needed to know her backstory.
Exactly.
Just to know
It was whack.
how she can tie and help pretty much them face Thanos.
So that being said, we have way more good films than we have bad films.
You could say, because wasn't Captain Marvel and Shazam like the same person or something?
No.
So this comic
Actually, didn't DC own? Didn't Shazam was Captain Marvel first,
You
and
gotta
then some
understand,
lawsuit stuff happened, and
this is what happened. Some other comic book company invented the character of Captain Marvel. Marvel and DC sued. DC won because the character's likeness to Superman. That being said, Marvel would eventually go at DC like, oh nigga, we ain't gonna be okay with y'all releasing a comic book called Captain Marvel. Change that fucking name. So
Sweet,
that's
sweet,
when
sweet.
they changed it to Shazam.
oh wow, I never knew that.
I would say Shazam was better.
Dropping some knowledge.
As a movie.
What
Nerd
about to
shit,
say?
bro. Nerd life.
Oh shoot, you made me lose my train of thought. I think people are just a prisoner of the moment, and it's in that what have you done for me now?
Exactly.
So sadly, DC has made good movies, but it's been kind of just spaced out. As Marvel has made a lot of movies in pretty much a 10-year
three
run.
a year. 3 a year, bro. They make a lot of good films, man.
But I wouldn't see the thing is I feel like they just make a lot. They're good movies, but there's a lot of just movies. Like for example, like you said, Iron Man 2. The first two Thors are You said Iron Man
2 and 3, Ant-Man 2,
Ragnarok's my favorite
Ragnarok's
shit.
fire.
That's my shit. I
Ragnarok's
love that
fire.
shit. That made me like Thor. I never liked Thor. It was just boring to me. But once I saw Ragnarok, I'm a Thor
that
fan
happened
now.
to so many people. Like, niggas became Thor fans because it's like, yo, you got to make a joke out of a space Viking. I'm sorry. You can't take a space Viking seriously, and you were stupid for ever trying. Make a joke out of it.
And I like how they introduced Valkyrie. I like her as a character. I like their little dynamic, them two.
Well, I knew it was going to be fucking hilarious when Chris Hemsworth started doing those vignettes before the movie came out. I said, oh, this looks funny. And then he was the opening scene, Thor, son of Odin, he's like, Tartar, son of a bitch, you're still alive. I was done. I said, oh, I'm into this fucking movie, bro. So my Thor curses. That's what type of Thor I like.
He had a good role in the movie, but the Hulk movie was a trash. That was pretty much the way of doing Hulk universe, right?
On the low, they just made a Planet Hulk movie.
Yeah, Planet Hulk movie.
You. That's definitely the plot of
See,
Planet
that's the
Hulk.
thing is, actually, it's kind of smart because Thor was like their least successful
Right.
character, and the Hulk was kind of like, let's just throw them together, see what happens.
And
it worked.
it's like, you know what?
Yep.
It worked great. Ragnarok is a shining achievement of the MCU.
So speaking of MCU, let's talk about this thing with Sony and Spider-Man. That I had to ask you this. I actually feel some type of way about that. So I assume everybody noticed by now, but Sony pulled out of the deal with Disney about making future Spider-Man films. So I don't know, because I've heard some things saying that they came back to the table and made a deal, but I still see stuff saying that Sony's pulled out. I think even Tom Holland said, hey, I'm just going to continue to play Spider-Man for Sony alone. So I don't know if they made a deal or not, but what's your thoughts on that, Jacob?
It's as simple as this. Sony was only responsible for 2 bad Spider-Man films. Now, I personally think Amazing Spider-Man 1 is shit. However, people like it, so I'll give it more than that. That they're just things that I thought was shit. So for me, they're 3. But it was Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it was Spider-Man 3, and those are bad movies for many reasons, and that you can't blame Sony for that.
Actually, I think the funny thing is they both both movies had the same reason that kind of made the movie bad. I felt like they tried to introduce too much too soon, and that's the same reason why Batman vs Superman was bad. I feel like they tried to introduce too much too soon.
I saw oh my god, I can't even. You would need a whole another half an hour if we was gonna talk about all the reasons Batman vs Superman was bad. Let's just not.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna focus on Sony and Disney.
So when it comes, I saw a meme that perfectly explains how I feel about the Sony Spider-Man deal, and it was a meme from. You remember the movie Austin Powers?
Yeah, which one?
It doesn't matter because this happened on like 2 or 3 of them. Where Dr. Evil's like, I want $9 million, and this nigga was like, hey, Dr. Evil, your company that you left me in charge of brings in $50 billion annually, and he's like, really? Wow. Okay, I want a jillion. It's just like, and he tried to explain to him like, yo, you asking for this? You want to be a supervillain? Like we don't already own the fucking world. And so Sony doing this deal with Marvel and Spider-Man, it's like, yo, y'all niggas can make billions of dollars. He's the flagship character. Don't separate from the people who are making your movie good. Like stop trying to fight against the money.
I don't think it's them trying to fight against the money, because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people were really siding with Disney. I think it's just kind of like it's just an insult when it comes to negotiating. You went from 5% at first to, I don't know if this is true or not, because I've been reading so many different things. Because the one source that was pretty consistent that I've seen was Disney went from 5% to 50%. That's like, damn, bro. I understand you helped us like revitalize the character, but don't make it like we need you to make this character relevant again.
I mean,
that's a big jump, bro. That's an insult.
I mean, how relevant was the character? I mean, first of all, you're right. They don't need Marvel to make Spider-Man relevant. Spider-Man is one of the top 3 superheroes on Earth. Spider-Man will always be relevant. Nigga, like 15 cartoons, 20,000 comics. Like, I'm sorry, he will always be relevant. That being said, they will lose money, which is all these companies care about. I swear to God, that's all they care about.
They do, but at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm being finesse, because in a way you're finessing us, because the one thing that people do not bring up, Disney owns 100% of the merchandise and profit for Spider-Man. So any toys, any clothes, any costumes, anything that's sold, they get that, and that money is long term. That lasts a longer time than theater revenue.
I mean,
theater revenue is only like that.
It depends. They got Tom Holland now, and especially after, I know no spoilers, but especially after how that last Spider-Man movie ended, Sony stands to make a shitload of money off this next Spider-Man.
But then part of me kind of wondered, was that movie really making money because Spider-Man alone, or was it because it's the
first movie after Endgame? Of course, we all know that.
So it's fine, it's the timing.
But that being said, now with the ending and the interest of Phase 4, the next Spider-Man movie stands to make a lot of fucking money. So Sony owning it, they gonna make a lot of money off of that. But for me, it's like, yo, stick with your Disney deal, and you guys are gonna make a shitload of money.
Yeah, but that 50%, bro, from 5 to 50%, that's a big jump.
But
that's an insult. That's like me trying to sell some shoes.
Disney is the name that they attach to successful Spider-Man films now, and you just got to know that.
That's sad. Like, pretty much go back to what I said. People are a prisoner of the moment. They forgot Spider-Man 1 and 2 literally made movies.
Superhero movies.
What you about to say?
This is like completely off topic. I just want to hear Jacob's opinion on this because he's a well-informed nerd. What you call it, dude? How do you feel about the remakes of all the fucking Disney classics and movies? How you feeling about that?
Oh God, let's save that for last. Let's say because I remember we had an episode about that. Me and DJ. Let's save that for last. But back to the.
I'm sorry, my mind just went.
No, I feel you. Back to the whole Spider-Man thing. I get that, and it like they should stay with him. But come on, bro, that's an insult. Cause that comes off across. You need us more than you need us a lot. 5% to 50%. That's like me trying to sell some Jordans on eBay. And I sell them. If I say
here's what you gotta do. You gotta look up the critical success, meaning what the critics said, and the financial success of Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. And then you compare it to the critical success and financial success of Homecoming and Far From Home, and then you tell me, do they need them or not?
I don't think they do. I don't think now they're gonna.
If you check the numbers, it reads differently.
I'm saying,
and that's what you gotta look at. You gotta look.
My point is they don't now because it's like they can still make money without using them. Because Spider-Verse was a hit. That shit won them an Oscar. People want to see a live action version of that. Me and you feel on Venom, but Venom made $800 million.
I mean, no. They making money, but check. I'm not saying that it won't make money, but check its numbers versus the numbers of the MCU Spider-Man films.
I get that, but
those numbers, it's like, yo, you want to compare numbers, bro? Like, because that's what it comes down to when it comes to companies. In the number game, it don't add up.
That makes sense, but at the same time, do I want to fuck myself in a deal? That's like what purpose that with the rappers.
Are they fucking themselves in a deal? Like, here's the thing: you go half with Disney, you're gonna make the same amount you making off of films that you didn't make with Disney, because Disney is making double the films you made without them.
But you still making more money when you had the 5%, 100% deal, though.
I mean, yeah, you still made more money, but you made more money because people were willing to sacrifice another thing. People are going to look at that. It was like Disney was willing to sacrifice and take only 5% and make you all this money.
But at the same time, like we said before.
But they made the character more popular.
But at the same time, you made 100% money off of merchandise. You make that 5% off of that one quick 3-month run, but you're making 100% money off of merchandise. Well, that merchandise, because that's usually what the thing is. Because I remember when I did an assignment for Disney, that's always been how they make a lot of their monies off of merch. Because kids love toys, kids love comic books, kids love kids love toys. They like to dress up, they like dolls, they love this, that, and the third. That's more money. They're making more money in the back end than they would in the movie. So you're telling me I want half what you're gonna make off the movie. But you gotta understand,
toys, making money off the toys is like I sell this through a year and make what one movie can make in a day.
No, I wouldn't say that because
I remember in a week. Like, I'm sorry, man.
No. But you should what? What? No, what you need to do is watch this show on Netflix called Toys.
I know what show you're talking about.
Because I remember, like, the thing with the toys is kind of like they make more money off of toys because you can sell toys all year round. You can set up toys with different things. Yeah, and you have the contracts with the toy stores.
The amount of
and
toys.
The time it takes to make the revenue, like the amount of people, little kids who want the little toy and get the toy is hot for a moment, but when the movie drops, it's like the opening.
No, it's not even about the timing. It's just like you can make that contract.
Making $200 million in 1 week still is great. No, I'm not saying it's not, but the most money comes in to Spider-Man movies when Disney helps. So I don't know. For me personally, I think they do need Disney's help to make a good Spider-Man film because they didn't make a lot. Remember this: they only made 3 good Spider-Man films without Disney. That's Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, and Into the Spider-Verse. Disney had made Civil War. Disney made Civil War, which I consider a Spider-Man movie because nobody gave a fuck about the movie until we saw Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Yeah. That being said, then Homecoming and then Far From Home. So now they have as many good Spider-Man films as you do. And
I get what you're saying.
Theirs are better and made more money.
I get what you're saying, but in the business aspect, I'm not going to fuck myself in the deal. Especially if I own the rights. If we dropped it from like 50% to like 20%, okay, we can do that. But
fuck themselves in the deal. Disney takes their name off it, and people don't trust the product anymore. And if people
I don't know about that because you got Spider-Verse did well and Venom did well.
I mean, Spider-Verse did well because it was first of all, it was just different. Spider-Verse is just different.
Yeah, you do different. You can't do wrong.
It's different.
I'm just saying, but I guess the point is because you're saying
and Venom is different. Venom is different.
And they already got different movies coming out. that's in that Spider-World universe because they're making a Morbius film with Jared Leto, and they're making what
Very
else?
interested in seeing that.
And they're making a sequel to the Venom film with Carnage, and the dude that plays Carnage, we all know he's a freaking great actor. So I get what you're saying, but it's like you need him because of course they're going to push you to further success. But do you need him enough to where you have to like damn near sell yourself short? You could sell yourself short to take a deal that kind of fucks you.
What is selling yourself short if you're $500 million?
Well, I guess for us, $1 billion is a lot of money.
You got
but at the end of the day,
to understand, selling yourself short for $500 million, that ain't selling yourself short.
And it's for a business, you want to make as much money as you could possibly make.
Yo, and
if
they make a shitty Spider-Man film and only make $100 million when they could have made $500 million off the $1 billion Spider-Man film that Disney would have helped them make, then they are losing.
But that's assuming that they're going to make a shitty Spider-Man film. Because by themselves, they made 3 good ones.
They made 3 good ones.
How many films? They made 3 out of 5. That's not bad.
No, they made 3 out of 6.
I made 6.
Amazing Spider-Man 1, 2, and then Spider-Verse, and then Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. So they made 3 good films out of 6.
Oh, so so I'm confused. So you saying Amazing Spider-Man 1 is trash too?
Yes.
I thought you saying Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2 was good, 3 was trash, Amazing Spider-Man was cool, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was trash.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and that still means they've only made 3 good Spider-Man films.
Well, 3.5.
I mean, nah. I don't.
3.5 out of 6. That's still 50%. So right now, if we
that's why they should go 50% with Disney.
Nah, no, I wouldn't do that. I would if I didn't have the merchandising deal. That merchandising deal wasn't in place, then yeah, I would do that.
Disney. Let's talk about how many.
Because my thing is, you make it. It's essentially like artists with royalties.
Ask me.
If I split it with you evenly at first, I may make a good amount of money at that moment. But since you got my royalties, you're gonna make more money in the long run than I would.
You say 3. If you want to go with the 3.5, sure. I think it's just 3. But ask me how many bad Spider-Man films Marvel has made. So let's move on.
No, we're going back because I was
how many bad Spider-Man films has Marvel made?
Made 2.
No. Since
they haven't made bad. I'm saying they made 2 Spider-Man movies,
and they have made not a single bad one yet.
That's only 2.
Every time you have seen Spider-Man from Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, they have not put him in a single bad film.
He's been in good positions all the way through.
No, I give you that, but
you're gonna go with the people who have. This is literally the same argument people are using against me when it comes to these. These motherfuckers have made a few good Spider-Man movies. These motherfuckers have said the same amount of good Spider-Man movies in less amount of time and have not fucked it up yet. And they have brought your Spider-Man movies way more money than they would have ever made because people gave up on your brand because it was trash. They've revitalized your brand.
I'll give you
That's
that.
worth 50%.
I don't think it's worth 50%. If we're going to do 50% on that, we need to do 50% on merchandise. Because my thought process is they don't make a Spider-Man movie every year. They make a Spider-Man movie every 2 to 3. What's the next one coming out? Like a 2022? When's the next one coming out? 2022?
Yeah.
So that's 3 years from now. But you can still make money off the merchandise. So essentially, I'm going to give you half the profit and still lose out because you can still release toys around Christmas time. You can still release... and I didn't realize this. Marvel owns the rights to the video games too. So that means you still can make money off the games. I only can make money off the movies, and I'm going to give you half. If we was talking about, if they rearranged the merchandising deal, then I'm like, yeah, you're right, 50-50. But the fact that you get 100% merch, to me, that's looking like, I look at that like as royalty.
This is
so
the
essentially,
difference. You look at it from a business standpoint. The rest of the world is looking at it from we want good Spider-Man films,
and that's kind of what helps Disney out.
And because Disney has the rest of the world on their side,
that's what kind of helps them out.
Sony loses. The world wants good Spider-Man films, and good Spider-Man films are attached to the Disney name, not attached to the Sony name. So that's where Disney gets it. That's why Disney deserves 50%. Disney, y'all business-wise, y'all getting screwed.
But quick question though. With Sony not doing a deal, does that kind of hurt Disney in the long run as well?
No.
You don't think so?
Because
Spider-Man is a big deal. Spider-Man is like...
sorry. You cannot hurt Disney.
No, not like... Let me rephrase it then. Does it hurt their Marvel Cinematic Universe with them not having Spider-Man?
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay. That's why... Let me just be specific with Marvel.
It hurts their MCU Cinematic Universe, maybe. Because... And I'll tell you why I say maybe. Because they might want Spider-Man to be the flagship character, but Disney has a lot of superpowers and can rearrange things to where the Eternals are their new flagship characters, and then 10 years from now, maybe we get the Avengers back in a joined up film. That's he said something earlier when the way they made Guardians of the Galaxy from nothing to something. They can do that with any character they want.
But at the same time, though,
Iron Man is now one of the most popular characters on
true.
Earth, and there was a time where people could barely tell me who the fuck he was. So what they could decide to do is make Spider-Man not important, and by making other heroes much bigger. And so through that way, maybe he doesn't become important, but I think he's definitely integral. So that being said, it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game, and I don't think you should fuck with the fans because they are the money. And if they decide they don't want to support your brand because you're not attached to Disney, then you're making no money compared to whatever money that half what Disney would pay you would make you. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, Disney is unstoppable, bro. Disney is a fucking
I don't know. I think they're gonna end up having it because somebody made a
Disney
good point.
is terrifying.
It's bigger than the government.
Disney. If all Disney has to do is buy pro wrestling and DC Comics,
They can't do that.
and
That'd be a
hip-hop,
monopoly.
and they would own my entire childhood.
They can't do that. That'd be a monopoly. Because there was an issue with them and Fox when they tried to buy out Fox because essentially Disney owns CNN and they own ESPN. So if they bought everything from Fox, they'll literally own majority of the news.
Nigga, they
majority
got
of sports.
Fox.
They got Fox movies.
Did you see what the Disney package is offering?
I ain't buying that shit. Fuck Disney.
For $6.99, you get their whole library, including like the new Disney shows that are coming out with like fucking the actual characters from Avengers films. But then next to that, you get Star Wars content. This is all just for the
Mandalorian, that seemed pretty dope.
Yo,
but I watch anime, so
I
don't
watched
matter.
I watched the trailer for Mandalorian, and
It seemed pretty good. It seemed like a Clint Eastwood Western.
I lactated chocolate milk, bro.
That's not weird at all. But what about to say?
But that being said, so Disney owns Star Wars. Now they own X-Men and Deadpool because they got Fox, and they own the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That means that for their $12.99 package, and they said they're doing this intentionally because you know Netflix got their $12.99, so our $12.99 involves Hulu.
I wonder what's gonna happen with Netflix though.
You can get Hulu.
They're gonna have to pump their originals. They're gonna have to keep.
But they spending a lot of money making those originals.
Yo,
But the
and
thing is,
Netflix is in debt.
yeah, they in debt because the thing is with that,
The niggas' Netflix accounts.
that too. But the thing is because since Disney owns Fox and their own content and Marvel and Star Wars, that means a majority of the catalog that Netflix has is going to be gone. And people fail to realize Disney do have other subsidiaries. I know
Subsidiaries, gotcha.
I butchered the word, but they have other one like Touchstone, where they make movies and stuff. Damn, they own the rights to like a lot of Steven Spielberg. Because I know Steven Spielberg did a lot with. Damn, they own Steve. Damn, they own freaking James Bond.
Disney.
They own Planet of the Apes, James Bond.
Disney is very.
I don't like this world.
Disney
The world's
is-
gonna be Amazon, Disney, and Nike,
I mean,
and we all gonna be eating McDonald's and Chipotle
the world already is.
and
that.
Chick-fil-A. That's gonna be the world. That's gonna be the future. We're gonna have Amazon, Walmart,
So I fear
McDonald's,
for Netflix.
Chipotle.
And I want to be the first person. It's not the first person, but I just want to say how much I love Netflix. Netflix is my brand. I'm about to get a Netflix tattoo. Even if
Don't
they-
do that.
I'm getting a Netflix tattoo, bro.
Shout out to Netflix. You should give them a check.
Yo, like
Did it in the Netflix, boy.
they did. The Netflix. It's gonna be the name of my next mixtape.
Netflix.
First track, Netflix and chill.
All right,
Netflix and chill. But no, Netflix is my brand, bro. Like after Blockbusters, what they did.
Damn, Blockbuster.
The way
That was
they,
my
the way
spot.
they
I should have
killed
teared when they closed down.
Blockbusters. I did shed a tear when they closed it, but the way they killed them and was like the way they changed the culture. Remember when niggas had to get up and change a DVD while you were binging? They was like, no, we're gonna give you the entire show. Sit down, watch as long as you want. And then Netflix, like, I'm about to cry, yo. Like the kind motherfuckers they are. You want to continue? You
That's
sleep.
bad.
We'll stop it if you sleep.
That
We're
is-
not gonna let you. We're not gonna let you listen too much of your.
Yeah,
binge.
you love Netflix more than Bay.
Oh, Netflix is my bae.
Woo!
Netflix, yo, you watch Netflix for 24 straight hours. They send you an email.
What they say? Thank
be-
you for watching.
It'd be like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
We noticed you noticed you've been up 24 hours streaming.
I'm gonna ask Shauna if that ever happened to her. I'm gonna ask Shauna if that ever happened
You
to her.
see how Netflix cares about me, bro? You see how Netflix love me? Like Hulu, nasty bitch. You better watch this show while I got it on here.
Damn, I might end up getting to Disney Plus though.
I might,
because I want to watch that.
cut this off. I might cut it. You only gonna get episode 1 through 6. Now you can only get 6 through
All
12.
right, so we're gonna wrap up soon, but let's go back to Tyler's point, which I'm curious. This is gonna be the closing out point. What's your thoughts on that with the whole Disney remake? Because me and DJ was going back and forth, and I was saying, me personally, I take an insult to the Disney remakes because I feel like it's lazy. I feel like it's lazy movie making because you're not really. It's like you remake, you're using what you already have, putting it in CGI form. Then you're being lazy by just throwing on some other shit. Like, for example, Beauty and the Beast. They made Gaston's sidekick gay, and it was like, was that really necessary?
I
Or you
mean,
did that to fit
first
the narrative,
First of
today's
all,
narrative.
first of all, I mean, I never thought Bafoo was not gay. That nigga was following a grown ass man around the whole movie. This movie just emphasized that he's gay, and that's okay because he is gay, and he was clearly gay in the animated film. Second of all, I agree with you completely. If you're not slick, Disney, it's like shit. We out of ideas. Fuck it. let's just do the same.
Like how you said
shit.
it? Shit, we out of ideas. Fuck it.
Like we about to make the same
All
shit.
right, bring Lion King back. All right, move on.
And so look, and I went to go see. The only live action one I've actually went to go see was Beauty and the Beast, and that's because like personal shit. Like me and my mother have like a personal connection. We just love that movie a lot.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
I took my
Shout out to Mama Mayberry.
and I took my goddaughter to see it, and her mother and shit like that. My goddaughter really loves Belle's dress. I even like the one song that they added. They added one song that shit was fire. I ain't gonna lie, I was like crying and shit. I was like, oh, this shit beautiful, because he sings this song after Belle leaves. I'm like, oh, now y'all adding this one song, y'all fucking with me. Other than that, I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna fuck. It's the same movie.
Yeah.
I paid money to see the same movie that I could have watched at home, animated, and just been happy.
And it would have been better too. See, that's how I felt with
Yeah, oh,
Lion
yeah.
King.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lion King, like the songs, when I was watching the movie, because literally the CGI live action, I don't know what the fuck it is. Lion King movie is legit a carbon copy of the animated movie, and none of the shit hits you like the animated movie. Because essentially the
because you already saying that. You know every beat.
that and also just you can do different things in animation that you can't do in CGI or live action. Because you got, like, for example, when the song "I Can't Wait to Be King," you got him running around. He got the little fake. It's colorful. He stands on the top. All they did in the CGI was he just running around under animals saying "I can't wait to be king."
I want to tell you something.
Like the "Be Prepared" song with Scar, that was my joint. That was my jam.
The
And that shit
Nazi
was
march, bro.
Yes, that was my jam.
On I Can't Wait to Be King, the design behind the whole music montage behind that is intense. Like, I had a bedspread, I remember when I was 4 years old, that was designed around that scene. You know what I'm saying? I Can't Wait to Be King. And it's a colorful kind of a feel. You can't get that out of
It gets you vibrant, it gets you hype. But in the CGI, it's just him running around under
Right. It
some
was-
zebras and elephants singing. It's like, I guess.
It was just their way of saying, well, fuck it. These niggas got nostalgia.
Yup.
Feed them that shit back.
Think about it. I mean,
One of
somebody,
the most nightmarish moments of when I saw that meme, and when it was like, what was in theaters, it said MIB, Chucky,
I saw that shit
Aladdin,
in Lion King.
and Lion King. It was like, yo, the 90s.
This is 1990s all over again.
And I was like, yo, it really is. Like, I had no interest in seeing Men in Black. Why the
It was
fuck
boring as
why the
shit.
fuck would I go see
I
Men-
saw it. It was boring as shit.
Why would I go see a Men in Black movie without Will Smith? Get the fuck out of here.
That shit
I
was
mean,
trash.
I heard that new Chucky was good.
that was trash.
But I had no interest. Like, I had no interest. The straight DVD last ones, the Cult of Chucky and shit like that, them shit's been fire. Like, I don't give a fuck about y'all rebooting, making a new Chucky, nigga.
You know what reboot I like? I'm going to end it on this one. I'm excited to see this in the 6. Hope we get a chance to talk about this. It 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
fire.
we're gonna wrap that up on that. 'Cause
Fire.
I gotta watch it 1,
Oh,
and it's like I
shit.
watch it 2.
Oh, you haven't watched it.
I'm scared, bro. That shit's. I don't like those scary clown shit. That shit be freaking
That
me
shit's
out.
scary as shit, bro.
It's a break, bro.
I heard that. I heard it's like from day one, from the first scene, you just add them.
He in him. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't be one of them kids.
He and they ass like Kelly, bro. Like,
That is not weird at all.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Call it a night. Catch y'all later.